You see this face. You see that face. That means it's Sports Talk. U-Goboy Podcast coming at you. Yahtzee.
You go, boy.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag. I need more. Hey, 3P, Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam. I need drops. Bravery up.
You go, boy.
Cannon.
Can't wait. What's up, buddy?
Try.
What's up, buddy? This is Mark's favorite part of the show.
Yesterday's price is not today's
Yahtzee.
Tell me what I'm telling Boo me, cheer me, love me, hate me. You all do it because you know I'm right.
It's your boy.
You go, boy.
And we're not here alone. It's Mongo. Yes. Welcome to yet another illustrious episode of the U-Goboy Podcast, live from Bravery Studios. Bravery up. In lovely Garfield, New Jersey. Bravery up. You see these two handsome bearded faces? That means it's time for sports talk. Can I get another? Give me all the CM Punks. Just give me all the CM Punks. Just let them
Tell
fly.
me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh yeah. So Mongo, how are you, buddy? How you been?
Doing great, man. We're in full swing with baseball, which is good because Rangers decided to go the way of the less experienced conference finalists, and glad we can at least turn our attention to one good team in the city.
Oh, you don't know any Florida Panther fans around here in this area?
No, to be quite honest. I think I know more Carolina Panther fans in the area than I do Florida Panther fans in the area.
He chose violence, savage away. I love it.
Savage.
But yeah, before we begin, as always, round of applause for all the subscribers across all the channels. You guys have blown up the pod. Thank you very much. We love you. Appreciate you guys. And we got marvelous Mark Perdomo on the boards as always. Bravery up. Yes, Sirski. So it's sports talk, and it's not football season quite yet. You know, we're going to talk about maybe a couple contracts we'll get to, here and there. A couple guys got their bags, but it's baseball season. If you know where that Let's Go Yankees shit is, if it's in there anyway, Marv, now's the time to play it. But Yankees, yes. Oh yeah. Where's Aaron Judge? Where's he at? He's around here somewhere. There he is.
Guarding the museum.
Number 99. All rise. Here comes the judge. I don't have the Juan Soto bobblehead yet, but it's coming.
Working on it.
Giancarlo's here too, and he's healthy.
That's why he's so excited.
Exactly. You love to see it. So Yanks are white hot. Easily the tops of the tops in the American League right now. They're rolling. I think they just recorded win number 40. Let me check my stats. I mean, by the time this drops, it'll be Friday. But as we sit here currently, 43-19. Round of applause for the Yankees. They're rolling. It's not even the All-Star break yet. As we predicted, two-team race. Yanks and Orioles right now. Red Sox sit comfortably behind 12 games. The Rays 12.5, and the Blue Jays in the bottom cellar at 14.5. But we know what that feeling's like to be in last place.
That's fair.
From last year, so we're not getting too ahead of ourselves. Yanks are rolling. Why are they rolling right now? And how good are they with DJ Hits is back. Round of applause, DJ LeMahieu's back.
Hey, welcome back.
Missed you, buddy. Glad you made it back to Orlando. how good are the Yanks right now?
Oh, obviously they're top notch, but what's working this year? That wasn't working. I think it's real easy to just go, well, Juan Soto, duh.
Exactly.
But I know you're the stats guy, so I'm gonna take the other side. I'm gonna be the English guy today.
Okay.
You can get those conspiracy theory noises started early and often here. The question really you got to look at is what has changed. And to me, Judge's health, the addition of Soto, trades for Verdugo, those kind of things, that's not change. That's development. That's supposed to happen. And so when you look at what has actually changed, though, to me, the key to this whole thing, it's Anthony Volpe. To me, is really the key here. By never sending him down last year, I feel like he felt like he was trudging. We felt like he was trudging. Mm-hmm. Dude was a 2020 player last year in one of the most forgettable 2020 seasons of all time.
Yeah.
But, we could have easily saw this coming. But when you look at his stats this year, he is on pace for about 6 less homers. But, his batting average is currently 75 points higher, handful more doubles, about 300% of the triples from last year. He's just playing with more ease. And he's just playing with what the pitcher gives him. He's not a more of a 3-2 outcome player like he was last year. You were looking at him, you're like, man, that swing is real nice when it lands in the in the bleachers, but kid was not getting on base a lot, and now they can do with him what fortunately LeMahieu got hurt to force the issue, but letting him lead off has really made him truly a catalyst, and that's important because they have not had that for a really long time, right? They thought Hicks might be that, and that was obviously not right. They tried to buy it with Ellsbury going back 10, 12 years. That obviously wasn't right.
Big whoops.
They thought they were going to trade for Clint Frazier possibly. They thought they might have had it in Tyler Wade. They bought the ghost of Brian Roberts. They brought the ghost of Ichiro, right? They've tried it with everybody. You got to go back really to Brett Gardner for the last time that you could just look at a player and go, that's the guy making it happen. Like I said, 5 extra stolen bases, it looks like it's Volpe's on pace for this year. As a team, though, they're down. They're on pace to be about 17 less stolen bases, but they're more exciting to watch. You can't deny that. No matter what you want to say about this opening statement, you can't deny they're more exciting to watch. That's solely Volpe. That's all that is. He is the catalyst. He's making it happen. And I'll just say it. Brett Gardner was a sophomore when he won his World Series ring. So just throwing it out there.
Like the sound of that. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Coming in hot. Can I get a Ric Flair whether you like it? Whether you like it or not, the Yankees are the best team in baseball.
Whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it is the best thing going today.
Oh yeah. So keep it on the Yankees. This is a Yankee heavy episode, obviously, with the football season not doing much. Aaron Judge is healthy. And as we predicted a few episodes ago, he is going to start to rake. And to say that he has started to rake is an understatement.
The yard is clean. The leaves are gone.
Yeah, the leaves,
the raking has happened.
The leaves are not coming back till next autumn. Goodness gracious. The show he put on, and it was fitting and ironic, but it's the beauty of sports. He put on, in the words of a former Boston Red Sox, Dustin Pedroia, the laser show was in town.
Yeah.
The Giants, I think they missed out on signing him. John Heyman somewhere's punching air. Man, Judge put on a clinic, a master class of hitting, and the average is up, the hits are up. He set a new Yankee record. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it for the month of May. The most extra base hits in the month of May, passing some guy named Babe Ruth. Like, he always passes Babe Ruth for some reason.
That guy.
So it's like, it was a joy to watch him in the Giants series. It's been a joy. I got to hold his bobblehead. It's been a joy to watch him all regular season, man, because he's healthy. He figured things out. That early slump, I said it. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I said it 2 weeks ago that he's not going to hit for 150 or 180 or 190 for the entire season. Right. He's eventually going to start to rake, and he's done that. And the beauty of it on top of that is here comes some guy named Juan Soto, who they traded for, and they're giving you that 1-2 punch, that star power. And mind you, Cole isn't even here yet. He has yet to throw a pitch on the major league level. He finally did a rehab start. But that 1-2 punch, they're fighting right now for MVP on the same team. You love to see it. Yeah. My question to you is, who's the MVP of the AL? Mongo? Is it Juan Soto or is it Aaron Judge? This guy.
I think. Who am I voting for, or who will be the MVP? I think we have two separate questions.
I think we have two separate questions. We do.
And I think at the end of the day, Juan Soto will get the vote.
I believe so too.
I think recency bias is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
And people will simply look at what was the roster last year, what was the roster this year. They'll say Soto is the difference, and they are wrong. I mean, he's a huge part of it. But again, you look at, whether it be Stanton's batting average or Volpe's batting average or anybody else, they're all contributing in ways that they weren't last year. But part of that is, right, we've always said, can Stanton be the second best player on this team behind Judge? Well, with Volpe being better, with Soto coming in, with Verdugo coming in, now the question is, can Stanton be the fifth best player on a good team? And that answer is yes. I think we can all agree that answer is yes. And sometimes he doesn't even need to be fifth. LeMahieu might debatably be better than him. Torres might be debatably better
read my
than
mind.
him.
Dom DeMarco. If DJ begins to settle in and becomes DJ Hits again, Stanton is just chilling. He's like, you guys need one hit tonight? I'll give you the 3 strikeouts. That's coming. But you just need one extra base hit or a 500-foot home run. I got you.
He's hit a couple balls lately that may have not landed.
Yeah.
I mean, when he finds one.
Oh, my God. When he runs into one, it's still must-see TV. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll keep it there on Judge and Soto. I was thinking about this today when I was writing today's episode. We've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
And we've seen this movie in the form of Derek Jeter and A-Rod being traded to the Yankees in the 2002 or 2003 season, I believe. And homegrown Yankee, future Hall of Famer, generational talent is traded over. Championship. It took a while, but championship.
Absolutely.
I think this is an even better version of that, and kind of the roles are reversed because homegrown Yankee, future Hall of Famer, but doesn't have the postseason success. The guy who gets traded over, unlike A-Rod, who didn't sniff the playoffs with the Rangers, maybe a couple of years here and there with the Mariners early on, but Juan Soto's got a ring already, and he's proven that he can play his big boy baseball in October. The home run he hit off Verlander is still in orbit somewhere. You know what I mean? So you have Soto now coming over, and I still feel like his best baseball, he hasn't even played it yet, which is scary.
Yeah.
Which is scary. So you're going to have that 1-2 punch now come October. And my question to you is, those parallels between the two, how well do you think it's going to serve the Yankees throughout the season and into the playoffs?
You mean in the sense that they have kind of
Context-wise.
to go off
exactly.
of?
Homegrown Yankee, superstar traded over, the impact on the team, hopefully propelling them to a championship sooner rather than later.
I think it'll help, and I think it's because they understand the formula. Even going back to the '90s team, where obviously you had your core four, but it was guys like the Scott Brociouses of the world. Even Paul O'Neill, became an absolute Yankee legend, to be quite frank.
Constantino, coming over from the Mariners,
right? In a way that these guys were not necessarily expected to become. And so you look at some of the moves they made here. As soon as Alex Verdugo came over, what do I say every time I'm on the show? The one word that describes him is clutch, right?
Facts. Dom DeMarco for Verdugo. Doogie.
Anthony Rizzo, I keep saying, is probably the future manager of the Yankees, if not the Cubs at some point.
That's savage.
He's savage, super level-headed, and the one big difference, I think, yes, that last World Series team had some young guys on it. Brett Gardner being the most obvious example, but not like the middle. Torres and Volpe, again, homegrown. No playoff experience. That's a lot to overcome come playoff time. But they've done a really good job of recognizing what it's been in the past, where surrounding with as many veterans as they can is pretty much just as important as getting that 1-2 punch.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's the formula we talked about in weeks past and months past of how those 90s Yankees, that dynasty was built. Homegrown guys. You trade for and sign, impact actual free agents. Yeah, Brian Cashman still did the analytic thing and did his best Billy Beane impersonation come the offseason, but I think Verdugo was an upgrade from Hicks. I think so.
No, I would 100%. Us with fishnets out there would have been an upgrade from Hicks.
Exactly.
That's an unfair competition, but
who just got DFA'd, by the way.
Oh, good for him. Come be on our show. You could be right here in center where you belong.
Savage.
But I mean, part of it also is just, I forget what year it was, but the Yankees have the record. It's a team with Posada on it, because I remember I think he was the one who got there to make it happen. It might have been the year they won the World Series. They were the first team to get, I believe it was 6 guys to 20 home runs on the team, or something of that nature. But it was a year where everybody contributed a little. To me, I look at walks as the stat this year. Last year, they only had 3 guys on the roster who got to 60 or more walks. This year, they're on pace already for 5 guys. Verdugo is right there on the cusp. But then, LeMahieu was one of those 3 guys. Obviously, he's not going to be on pace for 60 because he's played like 5 games. But he can draw a walk too. And so when you have, 2/3 of the lineup, 6, 7 guys who can all be counted on for a reliable walk a series, that you have 3, 4 guys who can change with one swing of a bat. That entire outfield is absurd defensively. It's a deeper team, and it's a deeper team than we've seen in a long while, and that makes a tremendous difference as well.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Episode 48 of the U-Goboy Podcast. Sports
Getting
talk!
close.
Sports talk.
You
Give
go,
me
boy.
another Ric Flair, whether you like it or not, because I'm feeling it.
Whether you like it or don't
Marv's
like
on the
it,
boards!
learn to love it because it is the best thing going today.
Yes, sir. I mean,
Sorry, this would have been a great one to do live. I would love for a Met fan to call in and just try and what could you say? The Met fans, feel free to comment below. What on earth is your argument as to how Yankee fans can't be enjoying the season, and what on earth are you enjoying about this season? I'd love to hear from you on that too.
a big nothing. It's from a movie or show from the 90s, I forget, but yeah, a big nothing. We'll keep it going. I'd be remiss to not talk about our favorite Yankee pitcher, Luis Gil. Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. Let me just stand and go. Luis Gil! Oh my God. Can I get a Kevin Nash? Can I get a Kevin Nash and a Scott Hall?
is back together.
One more for the good
Oh, he's definitely one of the good guys. Rest in peace, Scott. Love you, dog. Luis Gil.
This is also my tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh,
I've been
yeah,
on
yeah.
this dude.
Get those going.
I'm
Get those going.
sorry. I really cut in on these, but I need one. I've been
Tell
on
me
this
when
guy
I'm
for
telling lies.
4 or 5 years.
That's a perfect segue. I think it's about that time for a pipe bomb. And so we get those cranked up. Keep them going. Keep them going, Marv. Keep them going, Marv. Yes, sir. This pipe bomb is brought to you by George Osei Art. My main man, George Osei. Love you, Osei. Love you, Os. He's working on a Yu Hockey Show picture for me. Super excited for that. Things galore on Etsy, US. Link below. Get your AI-inspired art, as well as New York Posse. Grab yourself some New York Posse gear. Live at American Dream Mall. Hand me that hat right there real quick, dude.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Boom.
New York Posse. Grab yourself some New York Posse apparel at American Dream Mall, as well as the link below. Yes, sir. Yes, sirski. So Luis Gil, we've both been fans of this guy since he burst onto the scene. The irony, the Twins traded, he traded to the Yankees. He's a former Twin. So I think they wanted to do that one over. But even Aaron Boone was surprised. I was listening because he pitched last night and shut down the Twins. He's been shutting everybody down. He's gonna be an all-star, by the way. I don't know how he can't be.
Yeah, no. If he's healthy on All-Star Day, he's an All-Star.
Exactly, and he's pushing to start. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Mm-hmm. He's pushing to start in July on the All-Star game, Saturday or Sunday, whenever they do it. Are you shocked by this? Because this is getting ridiculous. We're talking. All jokes aside, we're talking Cy Young stuff right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's been off the charts this year. How do you feel about the way he's pitched? That's part one. Part two, what happens when Cole comes back? Because he's not getting out of the rotation. Absolutely not.
Not at all. The word I thought you were going to give me today at some point, when I was doing my research, shout out for those who don't know, I'm a teacher. Shout out to my students who seem to always conveniently get a quiz or some sort of assignment when I know I'm going to be on the show because I need to do a little research.
Don DeMarco, get them going. Give me a cannon too. I'll take a cannon while you're at it.
I kid. Love you guys. But no, as I was doing my research leading up to this one, I thought sustainable was going to be a word or something like that you'd throw out because the question really is how sustainable is this? Can this keep going?
And to me, the question is, well, what do you think is actually going on here? Is Luis Gil a Cy Young pitcher? No, probably not. I mean, statistically, weirder things have happened, but he's probably going to come back down to earth because there's no real backing for this absurd run and what happens when he starts to face a little adversity, that sort of thing. It doesn't change the fact that in his career, 19 career starts, 2 total losses. That's no longer statistically insignificant. Now, he's not 17-2. He has some no decisions in there. But it doesn't change the fact that the dude is a straight-up grinder. He digs out the good, the bad. It does not matter. He's a lot like my boy Randy Vasquez. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Same guy. I was on him too, and he's had his own troubles in San Diego. But same thing. You can just. It's like what I was when we would talk about the Chiefs in the in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. You just got to look and say they have it or they don't, and this dude has it. I don't know how you could deny that part. If you want to say he's not going to finish the year 22-3, yeah, I'm with you. I'm okay with that. That's a fair assertion.
That's a savage.
Savage.
But he just might.
But if he does, cool. But he's also not going to start throwing 3 innings of 7-run ball all of a sudden because there's even less in his track record to suggest that than there is to suggest he's a Cy Young pitcher. So given how well the rest of the staff is pitching, looking like Carlos Rodon is back to being his all-star in a different city every year self from a couple years ago, with Cole coming back, with Nestor being more often previous Nestor than last year Nestor, you only need him to be a 5. I mean, you don't need him to be the Cy Young. If he is, cool. But for what we ultimately need him to be, can we assume that he can, and can we trust statistically more likely than not he can stay at that level? Yeah, absolutely we can.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You didn't even mention Stroman.
That's right.
He gets lost in all this.
If we're talking about, you want to talk about Scrappy? I mean, that's another guy who you just look at and go, yeah, he's not going down without a fight. And I think that's what makes this whole team, kind of what they have in common. I mean, all of them are absolute, proven, gritty dudes. And I think kind of to your, sort of second part of that, obviously it's Clark Schmidt who ends up being the odd man out, and he ends up on the IL anyway at the moment, which resolves the problem. But with how well, I think Weaver sort of seemed like the organic long relief guy originally, but with how well he's been pitching, there's no reason that Clark Schmidt can't necessarily take that long relief role. Let Weaver keep working more out of back end critical roles. And they're in business. I mean, they're ready to go. I would try and keep it. I mean, obviously it's a numbers game. You can only have so many bodies.
Of course.
But in a world where they've had a handful of, is it Caleb Ferguson? Is that a real human being?
I remember. Caleb Ferguson.
I think that's a real human.
Yeah.
They've had a couple guys this year who I go, where did they even find that guy? Like, there are spots left to be had for more household names in the bullpen, and so I think ultimately you can find room, for that, but for Clark Schmidt. But no, I think at this point you got to be pretty comfortable that Heel is not the odd man out, and it would be dumb. It'll be a very different tone next time I'm on here if Luis Gil is not in the rotation next time I'm on the show. I will tell you that right now.
Big facts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Round of applause right there. Like we're on one. Luis Gil one more time. Give me another Kevin Nash and another Scott Hall.
The band is back together. Survey says one more for the good guy.
Rest in peace, Scotty. You said it all there. I mean, this rotation it's night and day. Rodon by himself, and I said that to Tell Me When I'm Telling Lies. Phil, where you at, buddy?
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Quick sidebar, I bought the Tell Me When I'm Telling Lies hoodie that was
nice.
I'm saving it for football season or maybe playoffs, MLB playoffs, who knows, but it's home, it's still in the plastic. But I said Rodon needed to be the guy we signed, the guy who was lights out with the White Sox. Lord have mercy, he's back.
Yeah.
He's back, man. That's the guy. That's the guy I was excited for them to sign.
Yeah.
That is a prototypical number 2 playoff starter right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And with Stroman, you have the flexibility for that key Game 3 starter. Because Game 2 and Game 3 to me are way more important than Game 1. Game 1 is important in a best of 5, obviously shorter series, or a best of 7. But that swing game in Game 2, you want to go up 2, you want to go down 2. Or Game 3, rubber match, 1-1, who's going to give you that swing start to put it in your favor. Typically, when you win Game 3, you win the series.
Absolutely.
Typically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you want a guy like Stroman who's pitched in the playoffs. He's pitched in the WBC. The World Baseball Classic gets love. He gets love on here. He pitched there. So he's not afraid of the bright lights of New York City with the wave cap and everything. Do-rag and all. Like, he has been box office. And again, when Cole comes back, what you can do with Heel come playoff time, he can become Loaisaga.
Definitely could.
Like, I don't see why not. I mean, you're not going to have Joey Lasagna, for the rest of the year. You're going to need a back-end guy that's going to have to eat up key innings to get to Clay Holmes come playoff time. Why not? Why not a guy with a wipeout slider, a wipeout changeup? A 95-mile-per-hour changeup is ridiculous on so many levels.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. You love to see it.
I'll give you. I think we're going to get to Yankee-Oriole discussion here at some point, just knowing where you'd like to go. So I'm going to reserve my Luis Heel in the playoffs conversation for that. But just while you're on the idea of Marcus Stroman here, I think it's worth noting. I know you love your stats.
Oh yeah.
Yankees right now 3rd in the league for average length of a starting pitcher's performance. And only 2/10 of an inning behind the Phillies for most longevity among starters, and Cole's only going to stretch that out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a real chance that by right around the All-Star break, they are getting more mileage out of their starters than anybody else in the league. And going back to what you were saying, in a series where it just becomes absolute haymaker for haymaker, whichever team can get the most mileage out of what ultimately comes 3 or 4 bodies, right? Because you don't go to a 5 man rotation. That's important, and it's all the good teams, right? The Orioles are right behind them. The Phillies are 1. I mean, somehow the Pirates are up there, but generally speaking, that's a stat that is pretty well associated with good teams, and they're right there as the best in the league at that.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Perfect segue. We're rolling on here, episode 48 of the U-Go-Boy Podcast, live from Bravery Studios.
Bravery
Sports
up.
Talk. I didn't say it, but it was in the graphics. Who cares? Buy the merch! Buy the merch! We're merched out. That hat's available at live shows. That handsome face and that handsome face and that handsome face and this handsome face. All of us. It's behind us. It's everywhere.
Yahtzee.
Big old Yahtzee. Give me some belly Yahtzee.
Thank you, Bailey.
Load them up.
I haven't heard from you yet today.
Yahtzee.
Love you, girl. The world champion, by the way. Yes. Grab the merch, of course, at live shows as well as link below. Man, the big boys are separating themselves rapidly.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, we talked about our Yanks. They're rolling. But as expected, Dodgers. As expected, Orioles. Some surprises there. I didn't know the Phillies were going to run away with it. I also didn't know Acuna was going to tear his ACL. But, there you have it.
Right.
But Phillies are up there, and I didn't know the Guardians were like that. But Guardians have 40 wins. They look like they're going to make some noise come playoff time. And I think is Bieber hurt? Bieber's out.
Yeah. So
Tommy John.
So he's done for the year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the Guardians are, and we'll break down, for those of you out there who aren't Yankee fans going, go to something else. We'll go around the horn here real quick. To me, the Guardians are the most probably, I guess I'll say inexplicable because Stephen Kwan literally gets on base. It's a coin flip, basically. I mean, it's effectively that. Jose Ramirez is at this point. I think at this point he's the David Ortiz of the league.
Yeah.
You have no other choice but to respect him. It could be anything from an opposite field single to a ball that never lands. I mean, you got to respect that. But I mean, guys like Ben Lively, who has been surprisingly useful filling in that rotation.
Naylor.
Josh Naylor has come out of nowhere to be sort of the extra piece there in a world where Kyle Manzardo has forgotten how to hit the ball.
Yeah.
They say we don't care. We have a better first baseman. But I mean, you look at that team. Things like Logan Allen 6-3 with an ERA above 5. There are certain things about that team that are not terribly sustainable. Good bullpen, a lot of good young pieces. I think you could easily imagine a world where a year or two from now, they're just the yearly pencil in, the same way that, for the last 5, 7, 8, however many years, it feels like it's been 3 decades, but the same way we pencil in the Dodgers, the same way we pencil in the Braves, as frightening as some of those other young teams look in the Central, and we'll talk about that in a minute, you can at least 2-3 years start saying the Guardians are at least in the playoff picture every year, which I think this year I didn't even have them in the playoff picture, let alone being safely, this safely in the playoff picture.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, the big knock on the Phillies is they haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
And, everybody plays everybody. So their second half schedule after the All-Star break is going to really tell the story there. They've been relatively healthy as well. I mean, Harper's doing Harper things. Reese Hoskins is doing Hoskins things. Schwarber's still hitting it to the moon every other day. I mean, they got a lot of big boys in that lineup, and they're playing. But again, the competition is going to get stiffer.
Absolutely.
In the second half.
And to the contrary, there, the Phillies know what it takes, right? And they've seen, they're well aware they're cashing in on the lighter meat here. The Braves have already used 11 different starters this year. The Dodgers have already used 11. And they're going to get to 12 if they can because they want Kershaw back at some point. So they're actively trying to get that number higher. By contrast to the Yankees 6, I think the Orioles are at 6 as well. Phillies are at 8. I mean, some of these teams have had it significantly easier, than other teams. And so I think the Phillies are kind of looking around, going, the Braves and the Dodgers are reeling in different ways, and they're pretty much our biggest competition. I think. I was not a fan of the Cardinals coming in. They're showing their true colors. Yeah. You can't just go and buy everyone else's, to-be pitcher and say our pitching is fixed. That doesn't work. Arizona proving that they were a little overexcited last year. Again, it seemed like I said with the Guardians, give me a lot of shares of the Diamondbacks in 2025, 2026. Same with the Reds. But right now the Phillies are well aware it's very conceivably their time and not for much longer. And so, credit to them for recognizing that and trying to cash in while they can.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You mentioned the Dodgers, and we've got the segue to the heavyweight championship matchup this weekend. Can I get keep it Kevin Nash and keep it Scott Hall? Just keep it together.
Back together. One more for the good guys.
Man, it feels like when Nash and Hall invaded Nitro and said, "This is where the big boys play, huh?" It's that type of energy, bro. I'm going to be at the stadium on Saturday with Wild Thing. You make my heart sing. Oh, yeah. The two of us are going to be live in living color. I see what I did there. Cult of personality. We're going to be there for game 2 of that 3-game set. Tickets were ridiculous. They were like football prices, but it better be worth it. You want to talk about star power. This is, if you like star power, if you love stars, if you love marquee names, if you love brands, if you love front-end, top-tier baseball, this is heaven. This is heaven. I'm so excited to watch game 2. I don't know who's pitching yet, but I know you're going to have Ohtani and Betts and Freeman on one side, and on the other side for the Yankees, you're going to have Judge and Soto and Stanton and LeMahieu and Verdugo. Whew, man. Woo! What are your feelings? Because this episode is going to drop on Friday, but so we're still previewing it. Coming into this 3-game set, you're going to be locked in, I'm guessing, for all 3. What are your thoughts about how these two teams match up currently at this juncture of the season?
Thank you for dropping that word currently, because that's very important. We'll talk about that in a second.
It's like Sesame Street.
Bet responsibly. Bet the Dodgers. I hate to burst your bubble here. This is to me, this is a true test for how focused this team can be. And generally speaking, baseball teams are not that focused early in the year. It has nothing to do with the matchup. I think this is a great matchup in a vacuum. And if this was the World Series, I'm just not going to work for a week. This is worth my time more than anything.
Facts.
The problem, though, lies in the fact, you just kind of look at the sort of junk mixed in here. You have a series with the Royals coming up after the series with the Dodgers, if you're the Yankees. They, to me, are the biggest sham amongst the good teams. I'm sorry, no offense. Actually, yeah, it's offensive. Sorry, but
They're selling a Ponzi scheme.
If you're, I don't know what's going on there. You have a closer with an ERA above 5. I've never heard of. Your setup guys are 32 and 34 years old, and they both have ERAs. I think one's above 5 and one's above 6 or 7. Like they don't have a bullpen. They have a guy who has 12 stolen bases with only 14 hits this year. Nothing is sustainable about the Royals, and I think the Yankees want nothing more than to sweep the Royals, and there's a real chance they could be looking past them. Also, this team is, listen, the Yankees are very, very good. They're aware that winning 112 games is dangerous to their long-term health, and that's what they're on pace for. They're going to drop back to earth eventually, and they know, again, look ahead at the schedule. The last 15 games before the All-Star break, you finish with 3 against the Orioles. Okay, you want those. But other than that, you have 15 games where you play the Reds, the Red Sox, this is not in the right order, but the Reds, the Red Sox, the Mets, the Rays, and the Jays. You can easily go 11-4. You're not worried about dropping 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers right now.
True.
Especially if you plan on, if you are really as hungry about the Royals as I believe they're going to be. So there's really no incentive. Add in the fact that, yes, I get that you're in Yankee Stadium, but there's got to be a part of Aaron Judge that is looking at that wall and getting at least some sort of ghosts after the fiasco in Dodger Stadium last year.
Big facts.
And you just look at all the reasons that the Yankees could easily just treat this as a fun weekend. Let's just go out. We'll hit all our home runs. You'll hit your home runs. One of our random lefties, who is it, Victor Ramirez or whoever it is, or Clayton, Caleb Ferguson will take a loss in the 12th, and the world will keep on spinning. And I could easily see the Yankees being okay with just sort of a slugfest that doesn't go their way. I'd be inclined to say take the over. I'd be inclined to say take the Dodgers. But I don't think this series is in any way a reflection of what would happen if these two teams met in the World Series.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Just infusing some sense into the conversation as always. Love you, dog. I wish this series was a little later in the year.
For sure.
To be honest with you,
For sure.
I wish it was a little closer to October even.
Mm-hmm.
You figure both teams are still going to be fighting for their divisions. Like I'm not getting off of it. The Padres aren't going anywhere.
No.
They're only about 5. Let's take a look at the standings as we sit here. Last time I checked, it was only 6 games back. The Padres are not going anywhere. Well, it's currently 7 back, but still with a bajillion games left in the season. And again, the Padres aren't afraid of the Dodgers. They're not.
No,
They're just not.
Never happened.
And even if they'll lose the division. The Dodgers are going to win the division. Yeah, but they're still the Padres. Their whole focus. We just want to take a piece of the Dodgers with us as we get one of those wild card spots, so that they know and we know when we eventually do meet up in round 1 or round 2, they're going to have to see us.
Yeah.
So while that's going on with us, we're fighting with these Orioles. It's a coin toss right now. I stand by what I said before. I really believe when the Yankees, about to say Cowboys. How about the Cowboys? You can tell I'm still in football mode. When the Yankees are fully constructed with Cole in place and with DJ hits, and I believe Martian for some odd reason, I believe Martian's going to get called up. It makes no sense for him to not be called up this year. It just doesn't. Even if it's for a few months or it's a test of waters. Let's see if last year was a fluke. If he's ready. Because if he's ready, you call him up and then you DFA somebody, and you basically platoon him with Stanton. That's what I would do. Because they both do the same thing, except Martian runs a lot better.
Except Martian has hips.
Exactly. Hips, knees, everything from the freaking waist down, Martian still has. They both hit the ball 5,000 miles with exit velo. They're both exit velo heroes. But why not call it Martian? But man, I think that this series, it's not. It's the opposite with football. Because there's so many games, it would take 15 or 16 MLB games to equal one NFL game. Yeah. If you're just doing math, you know what I mean? But I'm just for the star power and just for the storylines and just for The fact that it's Yankee Stadium and it's going to be the highest rated game probably all year, to be honest with you.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Listen, ESPN's got the Sunday game. Fox got the national game on Saturday. Man, it's just box office if you're a baseball fan. But I'm with you though. I knew this even when I found out they're playing this early. I'm just like, why are they playing so early? It's kind of it is taking a little bit of sting out of it to me.
It does. Although you answered your own question, right? We're in Stanley Cup time. We're in NBA Finals time.
Oh yeah.
If the MLB wanted to at least be remembered, this is the game. I mean, this is the series right here. What's a better series than this? In a year where again the Red Sox are always fun to play the Yankees. The Mets are always fun to play the Yankees, but they're both reeling, right? The Padres are. Yeah, any of the traditional rivalries worth tuning in for are just not there this year.
The Blue Bloods aren't there.
Even a rematch Rangers-Dodgers would not be interesting right now. Although I still think the Rangers are going to sneak their way up on the Mariners.
We'll
get there in a minute.
Astros
are. This is your. This is, first of all, this is probably your World Series preview, other than when we see Yankees Phillies. But that's why they had to do it this way, and I get it, I respect it, but. I'm with you. I don't like it, especially because just to kind of what you were just saying about the Padres. So basically, 100 games left for the Yankees at this point. 36 still against the division.
Yeah.
The Yankees know if they just take care of business, virtually at home, right, with their division, the rest doesn't terribly matter. Whereas, like you were saying, the Dodgers, we know Arizona's not this bad. We know San Diego's not this bad. We know even San Francisco's, not necessarily this bad. Having to go into, Coors Field at any point is always a bit of a crapshoot.
That's always an adventure.
The Dodgers have more pressure to get those wins in these crossovers than the Yankees necessarily do. And again, it's just all the more reason that I say at this point in the year, it just feels sort of foregone that it makes more sense for the Dodgers to want this and need this more. Which all that being said, I know I sound like a curmudgeon. I am all in on this series. I'm watching every minute of this. I love this. I'm with you. Just as a kid watching baseball, this is what you want to watch.
This is it.
And if the Yankees can get 2 out of 3 here, or if the Yankees can win, I don't expect a sweep on either side. But if they can win the series, that says a lot about. That's shades of late 90s. That's the type of focus that team had that most teams today and almost all Yankee teams since don't have. It's not part. You look at other sports, right? The NBA does all of its designated rest days, and pitchers don't go as long, right? It's not in the nature to treat the regular season like a marathon anymore. The Yankees coming out and making a statement here in a series they really have no right to, other than they just want to prove they're the best, would be, as a Yankee fan, you're on cloud 81. You're on cloud 9 squared at that point.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, I think that I think the starting pitching, how the managers are going to play it very close to the vest, especially understanding that the All-Star break is like right around the corner, and the Yankees still they understand that guys are pretty much auditioning, because when Cole comes back again, somebody's going to get bumped off. Right. And I think we're both in lockstep. I think it's going to be Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, especially now that he can't defend himself, basically.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that, because my favorite word in baseball and in football is depth. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, consistency, you'd love that. But just realistically speaking, with everybody being good, I'll take depth, because injuries are going to happen, probably more so in baseball because it's just so many freaking games, and they're not trimming it down anytime soon. So, yeah, the starting pitching, to me, starting pitching and timely hitting have been the Achilles heels this entire run since the baby bombers were born. Right. Even with going back to Gary Sanchez, who's having a resurrection in Milwaukee for whatever reason.
Good on him.
Good for him. Good for you, Sanchez. But it's like, can you continually show me what you've been showing me all year, that the pitching's been A1 and the timely hitting is back? Because that is when they were winning championships, you never had to worry about that. The contact guys were the contact guys. And like, really, since Stanton's come over, and really every year post 2009 when we won it all, we've been heavy right-hand dominated strikeout machines.
Right.
And slow and old and aging. And maybe they'll throw in a year or two here where we go heavy lefty with Brian McCann and Curtis Granderson. Those were fun years. But again, come playoff time, the pitching wasn't good enough, and there was no timely hitting. Guys couldn't do just simple fundamental things. Okay, guy on second with nobody out. Can you move him over? Now you got 2 cracks to get him in from third base with a sac fly or an infield ground out. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I just want to see us continue to do what we've been doing, which is the opposite of what we've been doing in years past, is do the small things to continue to win. Because to win a championship in baseball, I put it right up there with hockey as the hardest to do.
Yeah.
Because there's so many games, and it's really, okay, did you survive that 500 game schedule? Okay, what's left now? Win 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7, 4 out of 7, 4 out of 7. You know what I mean? You think? So it's like, but I'm excited for this series. I am. I'm going to be locked in. I'll be at the stadium, and it's going to be loud. It's going to be very loud. It's going to have a playoff vibe.
Crazy. Looking forward to hearing the report back. To what you were just saying, though, I think that's why you were talking about Martian getting called up. And I think he eventually does. But that's pretty. I mean, as bad as he's been, that's one thing Trent Grisham offers. And Verdugo and Soto. No matter how much you want to analyze this game, and we could sit here and we could argue with trolls in the comments, and we could talk stats. I know you love your stats forever.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, baseball more than any other sport has that boys of summer having fun, swinging free, need to have a clear mind element to it. You can yip your way on either side of the ball into a real bad funk. And, let's say Houston manages to somehow sneak their way into the playoffs, and all of a sudden you're the Yankees going, oh my God, here we go again, right? But who really can't do that? Soto, Verdugo, Grisham, having those fresh faces, you're as different as this team looks, there's no reason I should think LeMahieu can get that guy over from second to third with no outs. Why? Because why didn't he do it the last time we were in the playoffs? Same thing with, even a guy like Aaron Judge, that sac fly from third with less than 2 outs. Why didn't he do it the last time we were in the playoffs, right? As good as these guys are, as much as I will always blindly trust, my sports teams, having those new guys, I mean, by all accounts, it seems like it's going to be Verdugo. Verdugo seems like the guy who is, just going to kind of, shades of Hideki Matsui in 2009, just absolutely taking over the playoffs.
Yeah, just for no reason.
Just because I have more fun than anybody. He gives me shades of Nick Swisher sometimes, really.
You know what? He does. He does. His home run pose, I said it to you. When he held it.
Just a statue.
It belongs next to the David. It belongs in Italy as we speak. But round of applause, round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. We got about 7 minutes left. Just enough time for some rapid fire. And this episode of Rapid Fire is brought to you by U-Goboy merch. Grab the merch below. George Osei Art. As always, grab yourself some George Osei Art. He's got a store somewhere, probably at Bravey Studios. You got to come here to pick it up. Things Galore at Etsy. And of course, New York Posse. Can I get the hat one more time? One more time. Grab yourself some New York Posse at American Dream Mall. Link below. We're gonna get some more merch on here. Gotta get you a hat too, man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? Oh man. So back and forth as always on the spot. We got enough time, and then I got a quick announcement too at the end as well.
Very, very exciting. This by the way, if you've never watched before, it never goes okay. This always is either the best segment or by far the worst segment we do. So. Hang on, sports fans. Here we go.
Let's ride. Who's the NL MVP?
Who is the NL MVP? Man, can I just take the Dodgers collectively? Give me. Give me. I think Mookie Betts emerges. I think Mookie emerges. It's really easy to just want to pick. Who has the best second half? Give me Betts.
Insert Dodger.
Yeah, it's a Dodger.
Yeah, has to be.
All right. You can. Do you still have the standings in front of you?
Yes, I do.
If you need to, you can look here. Which team do you feel most confidently fits this mold? Team currently leading a division that will not win their division.
Ooh, man. Mariners. Mariners, yeah, they're 5.5 up on the champs, but I don't trust them for 1 second, and I fully believe that's going to be a 1-game playoff at the end of the season.
I'm with you.
For the AL West.
Real quick stats here.
Yeah, go for it.
Mariners currently 28th in the league in hits, 25th in runs, and the fact that they are top 10 in home runs, yet dead last in both strikeouts and doubles, means they are forcing everything. You want to look at a team that just feels the pressure? It's the Mariners. They're going to fall apart any day now. I'm with you 100%.
That's a savage. That's a savage. How many All-Stars do the Yankees have on their starting lineup currently?
They have 1, 2.
You can name them. You can name them too.
They have Heel, Rodon, Holmes, Judge, Soto, and I'm going to stop it there with a caveat that if Volpe played any other position on the planet, he would be an all-star.
Agreed.
Bobby Witt and Gunnar Henderson are going to own that side of the infield for a very, very, very long time.
If he was a shortstop in the NL, he'd get in every year.
He'd be fine.
I think 6. I think Yankee fans are gonna they're gonna vote Cole in for some reason.
I missed that one. Oh, that's so good.
And I'm here for it. I'll vote for him.
Yeah, I'm casting my vote for him.
Off of like half a start of the 3-inning outing.
I love that. That's a great answer.
Oh man, you're doing.
Oh man, the AL East ends up getting separated by how many games at the end of the season?
I think, because I'm still not calling it yet. I'm gonna call it. I'll probably call it toward the end of August. No, early September. I'll call it early September. That's to be on the safe side. It'll be separated by something real slim, like 2 games, maybe 3, 2 to 3 games tops. And I still don't know who's gonna win it. I'd love to say us, but both teams are a 3-game losing streak away from this thing flipping crazily.
That's very fair. And they do play, like I said, a whole lot more games in that division. And I mentioned the NL West, but the Blue Jays are not this bad. I mean, the Rays always seem like the Padres. The Rays want a piece of the Yankees always. Those are not an easy 36 games.
They're not. They almost swept us like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, whoops.
Who is the AL starter at pitcher for the All-Star game?
Man, you know who I want to say. You're baiting me.
I've already picked my guy.
This is the definition of baiting. I think Corbin Burns.
Yeah. From the O's. Yeah. Okay. I like it. I'll allow it. It's not Blake Snell.
I wanted Luis Gil so bad. I wanted to do it. It's also really tempting to go with just pick your favorite Cleveland Guardian.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of the Shams, you know who it would actually statistically right now? It might be Seth Lugo.
You know what?
Dude's on pace to go about 27-2.
Yeah, Lugo's having a reclamation for sure.
I mean, I get that anything the Mets touch breaks. I understand that, but this isn't who Seth Lugo is either.
I love it. All right, one more. Take it on home.
All right. Rangers, Astros. Who ends up with more wins at the end of the season?
Rangers.
All right.
Rangers. I think the Astros are in a soft rebuild. They don't want to admit it, and I know there's 10 wild card spots, so they're still in it.
They're mathematically alive.
Yeah. But I think the injuries have caught up to them. Mm-hmm. I think the age has caught up to them. I think they've gotten a lot older, a lot quicker than either of us or anybody expected. Yeah.
I put the Astros where I put the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors right now, where if every player was on the same costing 1-year contract every year, much like the Warriors this past basketball season, the Astros wouldn't have been brought back. This team exists because contracts exist.
Yeah.
No more, no less.
Yeah, true. And, I think they paid Tucker already, and Bregman still has a bunch of years left, and they re-upped on Altuve, but Abreu's not who they thought he was.
That guy got old.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Who's their powerful first baseman? Yonder. I forget his I'm blowing a blank on the name too.
You said Yonder, and now I want to say Yonder Alonso.
I'll insert in the graphics. That guy.
That guy.
Insert Astros powerful first baseman / DH.
It's great. You look at like Julio Rodriguez being void of power this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy in baseball. If you are either the young star of a bad team, or if you are a young star having a bad year, you are just forgotten. It's crazy how baseball works.
Absolutely. So round of applause. About that time. Before we get up out of here, shout out to Free Gems. I've been drinking out of their mug all episode.
Yeah.
Love you guys. We got a crossover episode with those guys come football season. Excited. Love you guys. Keep rocking out here on the Bravery Network of shows.
Bravery up.
So this was fun. It's
a good time.
Yeah. So we'll probably get one or two more in before NFL season kicks off. We have the crossover episode coming up, hopefully with my main man Chop Sports, Dave Sturcio. And quick announcement before we get up out of here.
Ooh.
I just signed on with Digest Media. They're a sports entertainment company. Yes, round of applause away. Shout out to Ben and Josh. I signed the contract on my phone, which is pretty cool. That was pretty dope. Yesterday, so I'll be covering the Yankees.
Wow.
I'll be covering the Yankees.
Whoa, wait a second.
For Digest Media.
Stop the presses.
Oh yeah, yes, Sirski, man. So
Wow.
super excited about that. So yeah, just add it to the Rolodex of all things covered and Digest Media now and this show and Harlem Wizards, hardest working man showbiz. I got to live up to the belt.
You are there now.
Yes. So we got new episodes on the way of the pod.
Yahtzee.
More crossover episodes, as I mentioned before. Live shows. We've got a karaoke night coming up too at Bravery Studios. So be on the lookout for that. Shorts and reels, they'll be up all week. But we're gonna send it on home like this. That's the belt. Cody Rhodes has that now. That's the belt. Watch the WCW documentary. It's hilarious. Ric Flair's had that one. Bret Hart's had that one. Sting. Goldberg, for some reason, had that one. And Hulk Hogan probably still has that one. I'm U-Goboy. That's Mongo. Love you guys. And can I get a Ric Flair to take it on home? Whether
you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it is the best thing going today.
Peace.
Love y'all.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
You go, boy.
Yahtzee.